Heather Dinich of ESPN says that she can confirm that Marcus Freeman has agreed to a long-term contract with the Chicago Bears, believed to be a 4-year. No, I'm just joking.
Okay, what the fuck?
But it is
Okay.
a long-term contract extension, believed to be a 4-year extension that locks him up 6 more years, according to a source. Let's pivot right here and talk about this. Notre Dame has extended Marcus Freeman and given him another 4 years in the extension, making it to 6. Your thoughts?
All right. Well, okay. My gut reaction, I think Notre Dame fans aren't going to really love this, but one, good job by his agent by using the Chicago Bears thing as fuel to the fire, because I'm sure that he would have been interviewed for that opening if there was not some sort of contract extension to heat up the situation further. Marcus Freeman has done a great job of finishing this year. He has done a great job of bouncing back from the NIU loss. And I give him credit for rallying the team and them looking completely different than they would have in any other situation in his first 2 years. He has shown growth. He has shown improvement. I think that there is always going to be a path for Marcus Freeman to be a tremendous head coach in the college game because of his effectiveness as a recruiter, because of his ability to communicate with young men and to rally them. I just feel like this is a little bit premature. I feel like for how good they were this year, for them to have not played a playoff game yet, and to have this come before the playoff game, oh God, the more that I think about this, the more that I hate it. If they go out there and they lose to Indiana, oh no, this is going to be a joke. I hate the time, Blake. I hate the timing of this. I mean, this should have happened after the playoff. This news should have broke after the playoff. Right. This should not have happened during the playoff because, in all seriousness, this is going to be, if they need to play great football, and we know that Marcus Freeman and this coaching staff has gotten in their own way in preparation for games, and anyone who wants to argue with me over that, then we can look back at the NIU game and the Marshall game and the Stanford game and the Clemson game. So at the end of the freaking day, if they don't play well against Indiana and they freaking lose at home, this is going to look really freaking bad, and we're going to get clowned on. So that's my take on this.
All right. Well, first off, let's see if these reports are legit. I'm assuming coming from Heather Dinich, they probably are pretty legit, but just in case. I don't hate your thought on that. If you're Notre Dame, though, and that's your guy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you got to do these things for recruiting. You got to do these to show that you have a long-term deal with them. And Joe, a lot of people have said Ryan Day needs to do what Coach Calipari did. If Ohio State comes open, is Marcus Freeman a viable choice? Is he a viable candidate? What do they know that we don't? Because you and I both know that after this playoff run, some of these coaches can leave. What happens if Ryan Day loses to Tennessee in round 1? What happens? So they're not going to fire him, but you understand what I'm trying to get at here.
Well, I think that's part of the fuel to the fire for why they would get this extension done, is because they would want to avoid him interviewing for the job.
She did say that it would come after the end of the season when it was finalized. So nothing's technically final here per her. So, I mean, there is an out here. But it does seem that there's from my understanding, it would be that both parties have agreed to the contract extension.
Yeah,
I mean, if he hadn't signed, then he hadn't signed. But you can't have a head coach on a 3-year contract. You can't. It's stupid.
Wait. No, but this isn't like the Billy Napier situation where his contract was. He was on a 6-year deal. There were 3 more years coming up on his contract. They just finished a recruiting class. So I don't have a problem with extending Marcus Freeman. That's not my problem. I think that he is bound to become a great coach. Again, I criticized him after the NIU loss, and I take back some of those statements that I had. I hate the timing of this.
You said to fire him.
I said that he would never be the coach, but they finished out the season without any stupid losses, which was an accomplishment by him. The timing of this is dumb. The timing of this is really freaking dumb, because it is going to fuel the fire of everyone that loves to clown on Notre Dame, which is most of America. Like, everybody looks for a reason to make fun of Notre Dame that does not like Notre Dame.
You don't make it necessarily easy on yourself when Georgia's in a battle with Georgia Tech and Haynes King played in one game and they didn't in another, and people are like, "Hey, bud, y'all going out there and saying that wasn't a big deal makes you look dumb."
That is I know what you're trying to say here, but look, the
it
other
does make you look dumb.
Wait. Okay. The last bit with this before we move on to the next game, Blake. He has been a coach, and I kind of mentioned this a second ago. He has been a coach that seemingly sometimes allows pressure to get to him because he's a young coach. It just happens with young coaches. He's been a head coach for 3 years, and he's in his mid-30s.
Yeah, he's our age, or he's my age.
Your age. It just feels like something that could create unnecessary pressure in his mind, in the player's mind, in the coaching staff's mind of like, damn, we just got all this confirmed, this confirmed future for us leading this team. We better show up on Saturday. I hate the implications of this before a playoff game is even kicked off.
Is this like bad juju for Notre Dame?
Yes. Coaching decisions that happen early or in weird timing. The perfect example is when Clark Lee announced that he was taking the Vanderbilt job. They had one of the best defenses in the country that year, like top 3 defense. They played like ass against Clemson, and they played like ass in the college football playoff. It is coaching shit like this has negatively impacted them time and time again in the history of Notre Dame football.
Y'all told me it was a Brian Kelly thing, though.
Well, it is partially a Brian Kelly thing, too.
Well, if it's an
he should have told Clark Lee. He should have told Clark Lee to wait. That's what he should have done.
I mean, in fairness, Brian Kelly was on the plane to go tell his team that he was leaving, and Pete Thamel just leaked it anyway. I guess it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts. Look, it doesn't bother me. You feel like you have your man. Do what you got to do, but don't complain to me if you need to buy him out and you need to fire his ass that you don't have the money. That's all I'm going to say.
They will have the money.
Okay, then it's not a problem. Then it's not a problem. And your schedule's too easy to really.
Next year, it's the following years. It's not. We scheduled Alabama and Texas, so like that. This was an aberration.
You're at least going to lose 2 games.
I don't think we play them both in the same year.
Oh, so what about teams in the SEC that got to play them in the same year?
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.